Kadosh Baruch Hu is Shtabach Shemo. No adjective to describe how great he is sufficient. That's why, by the way, when if you look at some of the commentaries some Sidurim have on the Shema Yisrael, after you get to Emet, you know, the tzitzit part, and then you go to Emet, and you start giving him all types of favorable adjectives. He's this, he's great, he's amazing, da 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 da. But some of the commentaries on it said, don't ever think this is enough. Don't ever think that this is actually all he is. This is like something. It's nothing in reality, but it's something. Because if you really describe all he is, the world will end, the Mashiach will come several times already, and it's not going to be enough. That's how great he is. So anyway, this Gemara says that how do the sins actually turn into mitzvot? Says there is a pasuk in the Torah in Exodus 34, verse 7. It's a very famous pasuk that Moshe Rabbeinu tells the nation the Nosei Avon v'Pesha v'Chata'a, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu forgives the Avon, the Pesha, and the Chata'a. He forgives the sin that you did purposefully. He forgives, that's Avon. He forgives the Pesha, the sin that you did not only purposefully, but mamash to get Hashem angry. And he forgives the sin that is a chet, which is an accidental sin, meaning you didn't even know it was a sin. So the Chachamim ask, how come it's this order? Shouldn't it be first a Chatanu, Avinu, Pashanu, meaning first he forgives the small sin that you didn't even know was a sin, then the sin you did on purpose, but because you just desire it, not because you hate Hashem. You desire to eat pork. It's not because you hate Hashem. You just like pork. You desire to do certain things, not because you hate Hashem. So forgive that too. And then eventually, maybe, hopefully, he'll forgive the big sin. The one that you are like Menashe Hashem Menachem. You look at the book of Chronicles 2, chapter 33, talks about Menashe Hashem Menachem, what this guy did. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu still accepted his tshuva. Why? Because he cried to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and he humbled himself eventually. Maybe we'll talk about that Bezrat Hashem later on. But anyway, so the Gemara talks about this. How come this is the order? So, simply speaking, it says that really this is the proof from the Torah that it's not that that's the order of him forgiving, but when a person does real tshuva, HaKadosh Baruch Hu turns his sins that were on purpose, and even the worst sins, the sins of mamash, getting Hashem angry, into a chet, into an accidental sin. That's the source from the Torah that says it. Now, in the end of the Gemara, page 86b, it says that, again, it all depends on the level of tshuva. If the person is doing tshuva purely based out of fear of punishment, he doesn't want to go to Gehenom. That's it. That's why he does tshuva. Not because he loves Hashem, not because he loves mitzvot, not because he can't wait to learn more Torah, and he literally spends every second learning. He literally spends every second thinking about HaKadosh Baruch Hu. No, he just doesn't want to go to Gehenom. Or better yet, he doesn't really understand what Gehenom is, but he understands what Gehenom in this world means. He doesn't want to get sick. He got sick one time, he felt like he was going to die, he doesn't want that feeling again. Or better yet, he never got really sick, but he has a lot of money, and he's scared to lose it. The more money you have, the more scared you are to lose it. So, he saw his friend had a lot of money, he lost all of his money, he saw what happened to his life, his wife left him, his kids left him, even the dog left him. So, he says, this guy, I don't want to be like him. He's scared to lose money. So all of a sudden he starts doing tshuva because he doesn't want to lose money. That's it. Not because he, heaven, hell, nothing. He just doesn't want to lose. So that's still good. But that will get the sins to turn into accidental sins. Because it's only fear. But if he does, just like the pasuk says, but if he does a tshuva me'ahava, it's called, tshuva from loving Hashem, where it's to such an extent that he literally does everything and anything possible to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He looks for more ways to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He's petrified of him, but not just of sin. He's petrified of hurting the relationship he has with him. Similar to a husband and wife. A husband, if he's a normal husband, and a wife, if she's a normal wife, they don't not hit each other because they're scared the other person's going to hit back. They're not doing it because of that. They don't not yell at each other because they're scared that the other person's going to yell back. That's not the reason. They're not going to yell at each other or hurt each other because they're scared to hurt the relationship, the connection they have. He loves us so much, he's not going to do certain things, even if he wants to. Why? Because he doesn't want to hurt the connection. He knows that if he yells at her, she's going to be offended, and she's not going to want to talk to him for 3-4 hours, or maybe 3-4 days, and he can't handle that. He has to talk to her. He has to. So he wants to yell at her, but he doesn't want to. Why? Because he doesn't want to lose her for 3 days. He doesn't want to lose her for 3 hours. So that is fear. That is a fear out of love, in essence. That's the highest level of fear. You don't sin, not because you're scared only of Gehenom, it's that too, but also because you don't want to hurt the relationship you have with Hashem. And that's the beginning of actually loving Hashem. What's actually loving Hashem? Loving Hashem is, theoretically speaking, if HaKadosh Baruch Hu came to you and said, listen, I said you have to keep all the mitzvot. All of mankind has to keep mitzvot. The Jews have to keep all of the commandments from the Torah. The non-Jews have to keep the 7 Noahide laws. Also from the Torah, but less laws. Everybody that's going to do it is going to heaven. Everyone that doesn't do it is going to hell. But you have a special deal. You, whether you do it or you don't do it, you're still going to Gehenom. And you are like the Baal Shem Tov. You say, you know what, Hashem? Since I know I'm going to Gehenom anyway, but I love you, so I'm still going to serve you and fulfill all the mitzvot anyway. Why? Because I know it makes you happy. Whatever happy means to you, it makes you happy. That's serving you. I still want to be your servant, even though I'm going to get punished for it. That's loving Hashem. Rabbi Nachman in Breslev, 200 years ago, says there's almost non-existent in his generation such people. So people talk about loving Hashem, they're living in like an imagination. It doesn't really exist. It's not common, to say the least. There are some bodedim, Gdolei Ador, big tzaddikim here and there, that got to that level, but as far as the masses, no chance in the world. Most people that are really high level are a combination of the two. So, but if somebody gets to even a combination of the two, some love, some fear, which love means love and fear, and then fear is just fear. That person can get to a point where HaKadosh Baruch Hu turns the sins that he made into mitzvot. So now, let's say he did tshuva for Shabbat. He, in the past, violated Shabbat. And now he started keeping Shabbat. In the beginning, he started keeping Shabbat by sleeping all day. Slept all day. He just didn't violate it. That's not exactly tshuva me'ahava. That's fear. But then, he said, you know what, I want to do more. So he started doing kiddush, started going to Beit Knesset. Okay, it's still fear, but it's better than it was. But then he said, you know what, I'm going to make Shabbat like it's a holiday every week. Pretty much his entire week is like Shammai, and it's like a Shammai and Hillel. From Motzei Shabbat all the way to Shabbat, they prepared for Shabbat, the whole week. On Sunday, they buy an animal, they buy a chicken or the cow, whatever they buy for Shabbat. What? But they pick the best one. But if, let's say, he saw on Wednesday a better cow or a better chicken, he bought that one. She said, yeah, but you already bought one. He goes, that one I'll eat today, but this better one I'll buy this is for Shabbat. The whole week, he only thought about Shabbat. Finally got the Shabbat, special food, special environment, special Torah that he learned for Shabbat. He has some guests. He has Onik Shabbat. But real Shabbat, not just to wine and dine people and feed a bunch of strangers. It's full of Torah, it's full of Kedusha, it's full of Simcha. That is full tshuva me'ahava for that Shabbat. Why? Because now you're taking the Shabbat and you're making it a holiday every week. Not to show people off your house, but to show people off your Shabbat. I only know one person that does this. I'm sure many other people do it, but I know one person that does it. Rabbi fine. Everyone knows, Baruch Hashem, you want to see a Shabbat, how it's supposed to be, you go to Rabbi Ephraim's house. Rabbi Ephraim's not rich, as far as money. But a Shabbat, you would think Bill Gates works for him. When we were at his house, we stayed by his house a couple of times, I didn't know where it ended, where it started. All I knew is that I never wanted it to end. It's just unbelievable. But everybody knew it. It's just an unbelievable environment. And alvai, we could ever get to such a point. Point being, it's possible. But that person that turns no Shabbat to Onik Shabbat to the highest level, he has guests, he has food, he has all the different beautiful things of Shabbat, where everybody pretty much leaves Shabbat sad. Why? Sad that it's over. Not, oh, Baruch Hashem, it's over, Motzei Shabbat, okay, where's the phone? Where's the phone? Where's the phone? He can't wait for the phone. He can't wait to go back to work on Monday. That kind of Shabbat, I'm not even sure it's a Shabbat. But he has the type of Shabbat that he actually feels bad for ending. Ooh, that's the best Shabbat. And that's Tshuva Me'ahava. So he didn't do Tshuva Me'ahava for everything, but he did it for that. So he could literally turn his old Shabbats into mitzvot. And that's generally how it works. It's not like it's all or nothing. Kadosh Baruch Hu wants to give us reward, and he'll look for different places to give us the ultimate reward. Even if it's just one out of 1,000, he's still going to give us that one. So Tshuva Me'ahava works that way. And again, it's becoming an expert in one mitzvah. And that's actually one of the things the Chachamim say that every person needs to do, is pick one mitzvah to be an expert in. Know all the halachot, do it the best way possible. When you do it, celebrate, be happy. Like, this is your mitzvah. This is your mitzvah. This is the one that's it. This is your baby. You're doing everything else, but this is your baby. Some people pick the etrog. They like the etrog. Etrog that's their thing. The etrog, they're not like everybody else. They go to the local guy, pick whatever thing they have. They're not even sure if it's a lemon or it's a etrog, but as long as it's cheap, they buy it. No, some people, they go to special guy. They have a special order already ahead in advance. Listen, give me the best one. Yeah, how much is your budget? Whatever you have. Whatever you have. I know one Jew that did that one time. Tries to do it all the time, but you don't succeed all the time. One time, he went to an etrog place in New York, and looked at the etrogim, there it is in New York. Baruch Hashem, it's not like Florida where you have to like meet somebody in some hidden office because it's like a side business. Over there, it's like actual stores. They sell the stuff. So different stores checking etrogim. What do you have? What do you have? What do you have? One of the stores he got to, the guy said, "Listen, what are you looking for?" He says, "I'm looking for the best one." "What's your budget?" He goes, "Whatever you want." The best kind of customer. "What do you want?" He goes, "Oh, what do you want? Like $50 one? $100 one?" He goes, "Whatever you want." The guy's, one of the workers, like light went off. He goes, "Hold on one second." He went to the back, came out with his big bag. Bag opened up. He goes, come over here. Away from all the customers. Open like a safe. Mamash, like a safe. Open this thing. It's wrapped up in more wrapping. He takes out an etrog. Mamash, it's like a melon. Huge Yemenite etrog. It's the best etrogim, by the way, Yemenite etrogim. Just so you know, that's the only ones we know for sure are kosher. The rest of them, you're not sure if it's a lemon or it's an etrog. If you have an opportunity to buy Yemenite etrog, buy that. But you don't have an opportunity. You don't have an opportunity. But anyway, Yemenite etrog, but it's huge. Some of them are really big. How much? $600. Now remember, this is useful for one day. The rest of it is, you don't have to. Like if the etrog is pasul the second day, you can still use it. But if it's pasul the first day, you can't use it. Meaning the mitzvah really is for one day. You're paying $600 to use this thing for one day. For what? How you use it? You don't eat it. What do? You carry it to the Beit Knesset. You're carrying a football to the Beit Knesset. That's all you're doing. This guy was so excited, he said, sold. He didn't negotiate, nothing. Usually Jews negotiate. Worst thing you can do is give a Jew something, and he says yes. Why? He says, why? I could have got more from him. So he says, yes, sold. The guy was so happy, takes out $600. Why was it such a big deal? Maybe the guy's a millionaire. If the guy's a millionaire, $600 is not a big deal. What's such a big deal? That was all of his money. That's all the money he had. Gave him all of his money to buy this etrog. Why am I telling you this story? Because Baruch Hu liked this mitzvah. How do I know? If you see pictures, you see that etrog for 2 years. The etrog lasted 2 years. 2 Sukkot. Now you take your etrog for $30, for $50, for $500, whatever you buy etrog. Within a month, it turns into disgusting, smelly stuff. Why? It's naturally. You take an apple, you put it on the shelf, whatever you put it, it goes bad. Mamash, miraculously, I saw pictures myself. Same etrog, 2 years. Fresh like it just came off the tree for 2 years. Almost survived the 3rd year. Unbelievable. Mamash miracle, like something. It's not normal. Not normal for a fruit to last. I mean, go try, use any preservative you want. Without putting it in the fridge, without putting anything into it. After Sukkot was over, he put it back in the foil over there. That's it, left it, forgot about it. A year later, oh yeah, you know what? Let's check what happened to this etrog. Maybe it's like a bunch of mold and bugs and I don't know, it's liquid. Surprise, no smell. Takes it off the thing, opens the closet. Ishtabach shimo la'ad. It's perfect, like it mamash just came off the tree. Why? Kadosh Baruch Hu likes this mitzvah. Likes this mitzvah. So the point is, Rabotai, is if you become an expert in a mitzvah and you do your best in it, Kadosh Baruch Hu will give you special siyata dishmaya in this mitzvah. So try to pick one this Rosh Hashanah. Next question.